we're doing it.
Hello.
Hello.
Hi.
Hey. Oh, you made it.
I wore these shoes today that have, what, a 3-inch heel?
Yeah, I would say so.
That's a little
I
absurd.
would say so.
It's
No,
a little
I love
absurd.
them.
They're great. They're fun, but it's not fun to walk around in.
No.
I can barely walk in
You
these
just gotta
shoes.
look at it. Just gotta look at them.
Yeah. Hi.
Hey.
This is the Witches, Magic, Murder, and Mystery podcast.
And I am Kara.
And I'm Megan.
Ow. That like my elbow. For sure.
I feel like nothing's situated exactly close
Fractured
enough.
my elbow. Do we need 10 seconds of silence?
Mm-hmm. Maybe we should start that over.
Okay.
I can do it. And we're good.
And we're done.
This is I'm going to say it again since
yeah.
we're okay. Hello.
Hello.
This is the Witches, Magic, Murder, and Mystery podcast.
And I'm Kara.
I'm Megan.
Hey.
We're here with a full episode for you for the Friday.
Sure are.
We are about to get a bunch of snow here.
Oh my gosh.
My kids went to school today.
Are we?
Well, I would believe it at this point. Normally I wouldn't. But then it's like all of a sudden we get a lot of snow in Kentucky.
This is true.
I feel like I'm going to shut that door. Do you think I should shut that door?
Yeah, you may. You may want to. Okay, soap comes in.
Oh, yeah.
Time out.
I don't know if it makes it less echoey or not, but
I don't know. We'll find out.
Like I said, the software is pretty much
We'll find out.
amazing.
Hey.
We've said hi like
A lot.
like 10 times because we keep restarting. Hello.
Hello,
How
Megan.
are you?
So good.
Authentic greeting. Insert here.
That's our new screenshot or
Insert
screen capture or whatever.
authentic greeting.
Yeah. Insert.
Yeah. So it's a full episode today.
Yep.
Kara,
I'm here.
we have anything fun to talk about before we get started? Let's see. It's going to be the 21st.
It's almost February. We have 10 days. So y'all get ready for all our Patreon nonsense that's about to happen.
Yeah, I'm excited. I'm
so
excited for it. Yeah, I'm looking forward. We've had a few people join the last,
Mm-hmm.
in the last month.
So I think people are getting excited too.
Yeah. So there's, 15 extra episodes on the Patreon right now, and we're getting ready to record another one.
Yeah.
So it's a good time to join, and all those extra perks start in February.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So exciting.
Yeah.
Okay.
I love the Patreon.
So mine's kind of like a weird mystery of just who this human thinks he is. Also, maybe there's some murder involved. It doesn't really dive that deep into it. There's also magic because he thinks he's a mind reader. So just shift and just get a little closer here. Because he thinks he's a mind reader. So, and that he cures cancer. So, that's why we still have it today. And
Yeah. Clearly he was successful.
he was really good at his job. So good that it came back.
Right. Okay.
Wait until you hear what cured cancer. Okay, so this guy's name is Norman Baker. I titled it Norman Baker Reads Minds and Cures Cancer.
Yes.
Okay.
He's the full package.
Yes. So he was born into a very wealthy family. They were in a small Mississippi town. It was Muscatine? What is it? Muscatine.
That's
Whatever.
exactly what I
Iowa.
said. It's
Yep.
both.
He was the 10th and last child of his family. His father, John Baker, had 126 inventions that he had patents on, and he also operated Baker Manufacturing Company. And his mom, Frances, was a writer before she got married.
Oh.
Little talented family here.
I sound like it.
Little
They got a lot going on.
just little busybodies.
10 kids.
Mhm. 10 of them. He was the youngest. So he left high school after his sophomore year. And he spent a lot of his adult years as a tramp machinist. I don't really know what that is. I didn't bother to look it
A
up.
tramp machinist.
Y'all tell us. I'm sure somebody will Google it or no. So
Don't Google it and just give us your best guess at what it means.
Yeah, they said that he started his career as like a little performer, but he also showed promise of being a great inventor and machinist. Um, so he invented and successfully manufactured and sold the Tangley automatic air calliope or caliphone, calliophone.
Calliope.
Oh, what is that called?
Calliope. Here's why I know this. Here's why I know this. Because at Bonnaroo, they had this like big thing,
Calliope.
and a friend of mine kept calling it the Calliope. And I was like, I don't think that's what it's called. But it's like a big DJ stand. Wherever Calliope is like where the dance party is.
We show how much I get out.
Calliope.
Calliope.
I was like, I don't think that's what it's called. I mean,
I'm so glad that somebody else called it that.
For once in my life, guys, I knew the right pronunciation. But also, disclaimer, maybe at Bonnaroo it is called Calliope.
Okay, but listen, it's a steam organ. It's a variation of the steam organ.
So I guess it pushes air through it to make the sound.
I guess so.
So you don't have to actually blow into it. That's probably exactly what it
That's what it sounds like.
Is there a Calliope in here?
Is there a Calliope?
Yes.
Okay. So he would take this device to fairgrounds and circuses, and he also was just like forming small businesses under the Tangley Baker name. So in 1904, he was super interested in traveling shows that presented like mentalists and other performers. So he was
like a sideshow type?
Yeah, he was real interested. So he witnessed a magician act, and he was like, you know what?
I could do that.
Yep, exactly. That's exactly what he thought, Megan. He started his own traveling performer thing, and they had a mind reader called Madame Pearl Tingley. He had married one of his Madame Tingley actresses, but that marriage ended pretty quickly in an annulment. He did tour for 10 years, successfully, multiple women as Madame Tingley, but then he decided to return to Muscatine in whatever the heck it is, in 1914. So he ran a correspondence art school. He also had a mail order business. He really
definitely thought you were about to say bride. Mail order.
He really, well, I wouldn't put it past him. He really did everything.
I mean, yeah, it sounds like he just, I don't know, can't settle on one thing. Which, I mean, I'm fine with people who like want to do it
and somehow lands on curing cancer. I don't know. So he in 1924 was like, you know what? Radio broadcasting's getting kind of big over here. So I'm gonna ask my town if they'll permit me to have a station. See what they think. It's gonna be great. So they did in 1925, November of 1925. The station received their call sign, KTNT, and that was referred to as Know the Naked Truth. It had whatever 500 watts. I don't know any of this stuff about radio stations, how long it travels, what it does, where it goes, how the signal happens.
Remember that time that we learned about shortwaves and
yeah. So all of that, just plug this into this part.
Just make sure you've been listening to every single episode
that I'm just skipping over because I don't. It makes
the important thing is he started a radio station.
Yeah. He started calling out the cartel of broadcasters, just like independent stations, and was just being a little jerk about it, just being a punk and trying to.
I mean, he seems real likable so far.
Yes.
Super charming.
Yes. And so at this time, like, these stations weren't regulated. No one could be like, oh, you can't say that. Like, this isn't like, you know how they are now. They're like,
yeah, there's all kinds of rules.
Like, somebody calls in and they're like, beforehand.
And we're in the 20s, right?
Yeah. So, he rallied against AT&T, which was like Western Electric, and had just like, he was like, I'm going to take over this town. I'm going to take over the radio stations. They've got nothing on me. So He convinced the Chamber of Commerce in 1925 to sponsor his radio station. And then he started focusing on like small town issues. He supported Republican Herbert Hoover over the Democrat in the race. And then he started attacking like Catholic religion. And like the Al Smith, they tried to go after like his ties to Manny, Tammany,
Wait, can you say that again? Tammany Hall.
Tammany.
So he was attacking Smith's religion
Yeah,
and Smith's ties to Tammany Hall.
yeah,
Okay, I was
yeah.
trying to understand.
Al Smith.
Sure.
Yeah, yeah. So when Hoover won, he was invited to a private meeting with this president.
Oh,
And so
Norman was?
Mm-hmm.
He got to have a private meeting with the president?
Herbert Hoover.
Okay.
Yeah.
I don't understand.
Like his station reached that far, Megan.
Jeez.
Jeez.
Like his ego needs to be.
So then that launched his tabloid, the Midwest Free Press, in 1930. His freedom of speech went far and wide.
Oh my God.
He had several lawsuits against him, and then he claimed that there were several that had been imagined by him. Really, they didn't exist. Yeah.
He just made him up. To sound like.
To make it sound like he had high media profile is what the article
he's
said.
so important.
Yeah. So then the article says he used his station to launch blistering attacks towards like everything. Media, all of the stuff. He's just going after everybody.
He's that guy.
Yeah. So he did it locally, but then he also like traveled state, nation, all the things. Just going after all of them.
Because everyone needs to know his opinions on everything.
Everybody needs to know. Yep. So he had the drawing school. He published a TNT magazine, president of the Progressive Publishing Co., publisher of the Daily Midwest Free Press. And he was just trying to get all of these things done. He denounced mandated cattle or TB tests. Water fluoridation. He just was like, I don't want that in my water.
Wait, where are you? So he wants to get rid of fluoride?
Yeah. He said, don't put that in my water.
So he didn't want cattle to be TB tested.
Denounced it.
Didn't want what?
Vaccinations and aluminum cookware. He said, nope, I'm not having any of that.
Okay.
He claimed these were all reasons for cancer.
Okay.
Mm-hmm. He said,
Testing cattle for TB tests causes cancer?
Yeah. Vaccinations, aluminum cookware, fluoride in your water. It's where cancer all started in the 20s.
Okay. Okay.
Yep. So 1932, he organized United Farm Federation of America. It didn't live very long.
Yeah. He
was honorary member and chairman, and he pulled a salary from it. And then from that, he got a lawsuit. And then they were just like, you're done with this. We can't keep doing this. So then he learned of a cure for cancer by Charles Ozias, maybe, of Kansas City. And he was like, you know what? I'm gonna see what happens.
So if he didn't come up with it then, if he learned of it from somebody else.
Yeah. There were 5 deaths during the tests. But he was just like, I think I think it's going to be okay. There were only 5 test subjects and they all 5 died. But I mean, we're going to keep going. We're going to keep trucking along with this.
What was the cure? How did they die?
Oh, you just wait. Okay. So then he brings on another person, Harry Hoxie, maybe? I like to call him Hoaxy because it was all a hoax. They began to promote the cure. Mm-hmm. So April 1930, they had the Baker Institute in Muscatine, and they said it was a clinic. They started advertising about it on the air in his news station. It was a very, very expensive cure for cancer and other diseases. And it was a series of injections. It had corn silk, watermelon seeds, clover, water, carbolic acid. They were just like, this will cure anything, really. They,
Let's just put all kinds of crap in it. It's going to cure everything.
we just, tore up this field on the farm and it had some of these like
here's the
watermelon
scraps.
seeds and
Just
some.
throw them in. Let's just
Yeah,
inject
yeah,
it in
yeah.
people.
Let's see what happens. We got some juice over this. I
This
think
is
it's gonna
terrible.
it's good for the earth. It's good for
Oh
the
my
people.
God.
Good for the earth. Good for the people.
Mm-hmm.
So they started getting on the radio and talking about how actual licensed doctors were educated fools and cutters, and they were incapable of helping patients. He said MD stood for more dough.
I'm just fascinated that someone who made his living as a mind reader who had different women play the part of Madam What's Her Face is like
angry.
calling anybody a fraud. You know what I mean?
Exactly. They were mind readers, Megan. So then the AMA was just like, oh, this guy's a quack.
Yeah.
We're going to put it out there that we don't side with this man. He's not a licensed medical professional. Like, this isn't the thing. So then he was like, these AMA people, I'm coming out and calling them the Amateur Meat Cutter Association.
Oh my God.
Yeah, so on his radio show, he's like, these AMAs are actually the amateur meat cutters.
The whole problem is that there's probably a whole bunch of people who listen to him.
Oh, for sure.
They were like, yeah, we believe what he says better than doctors.
Uh-huh.
And they all went home and they were like, MD means more dough. More dough. That's the best joke ever.
Did y'all hear about this? So then he claims that the AMA offered him $1 million for his cancer cure with the intent of forcing it from the market so that patients might be compelled to resort to surgery.
Okay, that seems believable to me.
Yeah.
That one part.
Yeah. But like, then he started attacking these people, saying that they were Jewish, and then he was trying to sue them for defamation of character. I'm sorry, what? Why? Why did we have to
just to be like, oh, they're Jewish.
Oh, they're Jewish.
What kind of...
They're amateur meat cutters. Like,
what? Good Lord.
Why? So then he claims in 1930 that 3 men attacked his hospital. And the police were like, the weird guy, Hoxie, that's been working with you, he's the one that fired the shots at the hospital. So I don't know if 3 men were involved, but we know he was.
So it was staged?
Yeah.
I guess probably like the lawsuits thing, like where he's just trying to make himself seem much more important than he is.
Mm-hmm. Man. Yeah. So May of 1930, they were just like, this is ridiculous. You're practicing without medicine. We're just going to file some things against you.
That's true. I mean, you can't practice medicine without being a doctor.
You're saying you're curing
even
these
back
patients. Then. Yeah. And so then, like, the courts, like, doing so, it drew tens of thousands of people who were just, like, there because they had been people that, like, tried to buy his products and stuff. And they were like, we're getting a piece of this, too.
So they're like, they thought he was a fraud also.
Yeah.
These people tried to buy his products and didn't get anywhere.
Yeah. So the trial began September 1930. Obviously gained nationwide attention.
He's very important and famous.
Yep. So the Federal Radio Commission in Washington, D.C. had some issues with him. They were just like, we can't keep this up. And so then him and that hoaxy guy turned against each other. And they were like, no, he said this. And in reality, they were just trying to get the money from the hospital. Like, who's going to get it? Also, nobody should have gotten that money from the hospital.
No.
Yeah. Yeah. So they said that the Institute brought in as much as $100,000 a month.
Oh my God.
And they would whisk it away in suitcases at night. And Baker got most of that money.
And it's money from people who just were trying to be cured of whatever they had.
Yep, exactly.
How do you live with yourself?
Right?
Norman?
Yep. So after the lengthy court battle, the radio station delicensed him in June 1931. In 1932, he saw Mexico as his next solution. He went to visit a Dr. John Brinkley, who transplanted goat glands into male patients in Del Rio, Texas.
For what purpose?
I don't know. To cure cancer, I'm assuming. So in 1936, he was going to continue his cancer cures, even though he just went through this lengthy court battle about it. And he returned to Iowa to campaign for the U.S. Senate. He wasn't successful, though. I mean, I'm sure you're,
thank God,
like, concerned, confused, and all the things.
Oh my
God. There was a story written about him, the life story of Norman Baker. In 1937, he was convicted in federal court for violating the Brinkley Clause of the Federal Communications Act by shipping gramophone recordings out of the nation for broadcast purposes. So he was like, if they ain't going to play it on these airwaves, I'm going to...
Of his own radio station?
I'm going to get it out to others.
Oh my God. He's like, the world needs my message. I have so many important, insane things to say.
Mm-hmm. But his conviction was overturned on appeal.
Why?
Yeah.
How?
I don't know. So he continued to be crazy. He returned to Mexico in 1937 to serve a 1 day in their county jail and pay a $50 contempt of court fine. And they didn't successfully appeal that. So, like I said, he decided to get into politics. Ran for governor of Iowa on the farmer labor ticket. Yep, yeah. Mm-hmm. He said, I can't go up, I'm just going to go down. It's just... That's what she said. No. Yeah. He got a few hundred votes, though. But...
A few hundred?
Yeah. But this campaign kept his name in the news. So he was just like... Oh, okay.
Maybe being the youngest of 10 children made him, like, super starved for attention, you know?
I don't know. But he just got kind of crazier and crazier. And then he was going to run for the Republican senatorial nomination, and he got a few thousand votes that way.
God.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Yeah. So like I said, he just continued to put his stuff out there. But in 1937, he opened another hospital.
How?
I don't know. In the spa and resort town of Eureka Springs, Arkansas. He found a city down on its luck, is what it says. He bought a resort, the Crescent Hotel. He said that the previous owners were just falling down on their luck, so I'm going to take over it. He converted it into a hospital and treated thousands of desperate patients with his watermelon injections.
People who have cancer.
Yep.
And are just hoping for some kind of miracle.
Yeah.
And they go to this guy.
Yeah. His accomplice, Thelma Yount, said that he had hidden thousands and thousands and thousands of dollars. Postal inspectors claimed that the hospital cleared about $500,000 in 1 year, which in the 1930s was a lot of money.
Oh, yeah.
Then he got more lawsuits in 1938 for $1.1 million. After the March of Time newsreel had portrayed him as a quack. There was a federal case against him in 1937 because he didn't, he went against that act again. The Brinkley Act or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
And then Arkansas couldn't close down his hospital. The federal government brought charges against him, 7 counts of mail fraud. So I guess at this point, they're just like, we're going to try to get him on anything we can.
Yeah, I'm sure. They want to just stop him.
We can't close this hospital.
I just can't figure out. That's what I can't figure out. He's still not a doctor. How is he practicing anything?
Yeah, well, it's like that one woman that was giving people all her cures of like the weird
starving them
enemas and. Okay, so they sentenced him to 4 years of jail and $4,000 restitution. January 1940, they found his cure as a pure hoax, utterly false, and they jailed him pending the appeals.
Shocking.
So in Leavenworth, he spent May 1941 to 1944 there. January that year, the Eighth Circuit Court of Appeals denied him an early release. Why? Why would you deny this?
You don't want him just out there?
Yeah. So him and his associate R.A. Bellows, they both served time at Leavenworth. Bellows, during that time, sued him for breach of contract. He said that he hadn't paid him the $75,000 of profit, which he was entitled to. He called him an ignorant country barber.
Good Lord.
Yeah, but then he unfortunately died while he was incarcerated, so he never got his monies.
Oh, the associate Bellows did?
Yeah. While he was in prison, the radio station obviously went quiet, and the hotel closed, or spa, hotel, hospital closed. Thelma, his accomplice, was appointed head of the radio station. She sold it for its equipment to the Alamo Broadcasting Co. of Texas. Then Elliott Roosevelt, the son of President Franklin Roosevelt, owned it.
Wow.
Yeah. So he decided he was going to file complaints against the Alamo with the FCC in late 1945. He said that the Roosevelts did this behind his back. Well, of course, you're in jail. Everything at this point is going to be done behind your back.
And if she was his partner, right? Like, so and he put her in charge of it, so she was allowed to sell it.
Yeah. So the FCC denied his claim in April of 47. They were just like, dude, like this, you're not telling the truth. This is ridiculous. So he attempted to return to healing by establishing a research foundation, but Iowa was like, let's not do this. We cannot do this. Let's not meet like this anymore.
Yeah, we need you to leave.
We need you to stop.
We're through.
Yep.
We're never, ever, ever getting back together.
Ever getting back together. So he retired, Miami, Florida. He died September 10th, 1958.
How shocked am I that he ended up
of cirrhosis.
Cirrhosis?
He
went to Florida.
He lived on a large yacht that used to be owned by railroad developer Jay Gould. He's buried in Greenwood Cemetery in Muscatine next to his sister. Where are the rest of his siblings and parents? I don't know.
So he still ended up just like super rich, huh?
Yep. So it says, like, picture him as like this fancy, eccentric man. He was known for wearing white suits, purple shirts, lavender ties, and he drove an orchid-colored car. Some people say that it was the suits that were lavender, the shirts were orchid, and the ties were, and vehicles were purple. Either way,
lots of purple going on.
Lots of purple, very eccentric man. He had submachine guns within his reach at all times. I don't know. He published 2 books about himself, Crusade for Humanity, and then Doctors, Dynamiters, and Gunmen.
Doctors, Dynamiters, and Gunmen.
Yeah.
Just the sentence, he published 2 books about himself, is like...
Yeah.
Okay.
He also called himself a radio doctor.
Me too. I'm a podcast doctor, you guys.
Yep, and he was quoted saying that if he had his station back, he'd reap $1 million out of the suckers in the state. Who's the sucker now, Norman? I mean...
But it's still like, sure, he went to prison, but he still ended up fine.
On the up and up. Building these hospitals and...
It's just depressing.
Curing cancer. Somewhere.
Curing cancer. What in the world?
Goat glands in men.
So what I'm curious about is why he thought that cured cancer. So were there successful? There must have been cases where...
I mean, there were only 5 deaths, so I don't know.
But does that mean the others just had no...
No.
I mean, maybe they had some bad side effects, but it just wasn't death. Was there anybody who went on to go into remission?
Right.
If so, were they receiving other treatment?
Exactly.
I mean, sometimes cancer just,
goes away or comes back.
Maybe it doesn't. I don't know why I said that as if I know anything. Guys,
we're like,
tell you what I know about cancer.
Here.
But
I just don't.
No,
Norman.
Oh, Norman.
Oh, Norman.
It's just, I don't.
So he's a mystery in himself.
Yeah. Who does he think he is? That's a good.
The audacity. Norman's audacity is what I should have called it.
All right. Well, thank you all for listening.
Yeah.
We appreciate you being here
so much.
If you have any comments or story ideas or anything, all of our contact info is in the show notes.
Yep.
Do you have anything you need to tell people?
No, I don't think so.
Me neither. We will be back Tuesday for you with another episode. We love you
so much.
Goodbye.
Goodbye.
Goodbye. Goodbye.